I want to thank you all for being here this afternoon to talk about an important subject. It's social media. 48 hours ago, this country endured another school shooting, taking the lives of many young people at a high school in Florida. And what we're seeing now in Fort Bend County just today, again, not even 48 hours after that horrific shooting, is we have young people today out on social media platforms sending threatening messages to either their friends or just acquaintances. This morning at in middle school in Fort Bend ISD, Billy Baines Middle School, a 14-year-old stated that he was going to shoot up the school. And then later on this morning, we received a call from the Harmony School up in Katy, where a young man stated, showed pictures of kids running from the Florida scene and stating that this is what's going to happen to kids at Harmony School. And the question is what would drive young people today to put information like this out, threatening messages, terroristic threats, according to our penal code here in Texas? What would drive them to do such a thing? Is it attention? Do they not understand the seriousness of sending these messages out? Well, I tell you, that 14-year-old today and that 15-year-old are both going to be spending some time in juvenile detention, charged with terroristic threat, which is a third-degree felony. So my message is to, obviously, kids that, this isn't fun and games. You may think you're sending something out there just to have fun and play a game, but once it reaches us here, the game is over. It's no fun anymore. Trying to get a reaction from someone, maybe peer pressure. I don't know what caused young people today to do this, specifically the two in Fort Bend County. I hear it's been taking place around the city and other areas of the country. But this is how we react when this happens in Fort Bend County. We take these threats very seriously, and the youngsters better understand it, and to the parents, please spend some time with your kids and have a casual conversation and talk to them about their social media platforms. Now, in this version here, they could have been on Snapchat, and that, those messages and pictures and photos may disappear in just a few short seconds. So maybe even the parents examining the kids' cell phones, they may not even have been aware of something like this or would find anything on their personal device, because this was done via Snapchat. But I'm telling you, parents, you got to inform and educate your kids a little bit about when you make comments like this and you get out there and you start getting emotional or thinking you're cool or tough or strong or I'm going to impress someone today with this type of a message, the only thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to have a visit with us, and then you're going to have a visit with our Fort Bend County juvenile justice system. Any questions?
Fort Bend ISD, like so many of the larger school districts and smaller school districts in our area, have safety and security measures in place. From law enforcement perspective, will you be doing anything different in light of these threats that were made today?
These threats have been taking place, and active shooter has been a program that's been in place in this state for several years, and we are prepared. God forbid, in any one of our school districts in Fort Bend County, we should have an active shooter situation. I think we've prepared the men and women working in uniform, not only from the sheriff's office, but with the municipal police, the constables, the school district police, to do everything we can to help eliminate the threat. We train and prepare for this.
And Sheriff, could you elaborate on the threats themselves? I know they were made on social media. One posted video of the kids running in Florida and threatened that this would happen here. What was the other?
The first student placed out on Snapchat said, "I'm going to shoot up the school." The other student at the Harmony showed the picture of students fleeing the school and a statement to the effect that this was going to happen to 7th graders at Harmony. The suspect then sent a follow-up post with a link on how to sneak guns into school. How to sneak guns into school.
And did it circulate among students? Was there a panic and alarm on campus, or was it caught before then?
In the first instant, it was a parent was alerted, and then that parent called the Fort Bend ISD Police Department, who then contacted us, and we conducted the investigation. The second instance, the Harmony School, parents contacted staff at school. They contacted the school, and then the school contacted us. So a student brought it to the attention of a parent at Harmony, who contacted the school, who then contacted us.
So it hadn't circulated among the student population?
Oh, it may have. I'm just telling you how we became aware of it. Harmony was through a parent.
And did the child say anything when they were taken in?
We've interviewed them. We've interviewed them both. So they've admitted to wrongdoing here.
But generally, their demeanor, did they express remorse for it, or did they see anything wrong with it?
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I wasn't in the room, so I can't tell you what their demeanor was, or if they were remorseful, or if they had a smile on their face and thought it was funny. But I think at this point in time, once they're talking to our investigators, I think the funniness and the smiles disappear very quickly, as fast as the Snapchat.
What
Yeah?
do we know about these two students? Are they considered to be troubled somehow? They have issues going on at home or at school?
I don't have any of that information. I don't have any of that information. As to the background, two parents, I don't know any of that. I don't have that information.
See something, say something. That's something that's really beginning to resonate with people. How does that strike you?
I appreciate it. I appreciate that there were others that saw the messages from these two individuals, maybe notified a parent, and then that parent just didn't stop there. Parents notifying either the schools, and then obviously the schools notifying us. The relationship we have with local law enforcement, with the school district police departments, it's the best, and we continue to have that relationship. It's so important today.
It seems like you're using these two to make a very strong example here in Fort Bend County.
Well, okay, so you get a message, you think it's fun and games. Should we not do something? Do we just kind of stand by and say, come on, it's a 14-year-old little Susie or Johnny or Billy? They're just kidding. Let's hypothetically say I saw something on my daughter's phone, and she brought it to my attention that said, hey, we're going to go out and shoot up the high school or the local parking lot tomorrow night. You think we should just take a step back and say, it's all just fun and games, he really doesn't mean it? I know his parents. Everything's okay. He's not going to do it. We take these threats seriously in Fort Bend County. How can we not? In light of recent events for the last few years, how can we just stand by and ignore this? Not in Fort Bend County.
And then what do you say to the parents who are making that argument that this is just a 14-year-old being a 14-year-old that made a threat that thought that it was going to go nowhere?
Wake up. Good luck with that argument. Good luck having a conversation with the millions of people in this country saying, you know what? Little Billy just thought it was a joke. I think that parent's going to be on a losing argument.
And so going back to social media, I know that there's been a lot of discussion about what should be taken down from platforms and things like that. Do you think that really needs to be examined in light of everything that's going on now?
I don't know, that's above my pay grade. But when you look at Snapchat alone, thinking that a couple of young men, I guess 20-something years old, created this where you could have the picture disappear, and then you got Zuckerberg, or whatever the gentleman's name is from Facebook, offers to buy it for $3 or $4 billion? This is big business, folks. You couldn't pay the politicians enough to change the rule. He's got so much money. You're not going to affect change here. What we have to do is having parents parent and have a casual conversation with their kids, with their social media.
A lot of people say if someone wants to cause damage or harm, they will. What are the schools doing sort of as a last line of defense to maybe extra police on campus, or what can the schools do?
I think our school systems, our school districts are strong. They have law enforcement presence. We're all working together. We're all training together. should a terrible tragedy like that take place in Fort Bend County. So the message is consistent. We continue to train. I think the school districts are doing a remarkable job trying to prepare. And how do you prepare elementary school kids? How do you really do that? Prepare middle school kids and high school kids in case there's an active shooter on their campus. I think they're doing a phenomenal job, and we will continue to support them with our resources here.
What about Fort Bend being a diversion county for teen crimes?
A diversion county? You mean, I don't understand the question, I'm sorry.
Sorry, getting a text from someone to ask a question about that. And I'm saying,
Can I?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we'll return to you in a moment. Let's talk about the range of punishment, though. And I don't know how many of these cases you've had before involving schools, but what are parents looking at in terms of having to defend their kid in court when these cases go before a judge?
In this instance, it is a terroristic threat, and you could be more than happy to look it up. It's Penal Code 2207. Person commits an offense if he threatens to commit any offense involving violence to any person or property with intent to place the public or a substantial group of the public in fear of serious bodily injury. I think they've demonstrated that. An offense under this section is a felony of the third degree. So, they're in the juvenile justice system. That's the process that's going to take place. I don't know. I do feel this. I don't know how many other parents would really want that specific child to be back in the school, but that's not my decision.
Is it fair to say that what they did here today and the consequences of it, it's going to shape the rest of their lives?
Well, maybe could that be a good thing? Could be a good thing. I mean, they're juveniles. They have their whole life ahead of them. And whether they really intended to do this or they thought it was a joke or their buddy said, hey, put this out there, this is going to be fun. Oh, it's not fun. It's reached our level. It's reached our level. And once you reach our level, the fun and games are over.
When they get into the court system, the judicial system, should a judge throw a book at these two?
I don't know. That's the judge's decision. I don't know. I can't. I feel bad. You feel horrible for the family, of course.
And they were students at their respective schools? The 15-year-old
Yes.
schools and Katie
Yes.
14.
Yes.
And so were they both male or?
Males.
Okay.
What nationality is he doing?
I don't know. Does that matter?
No.
I don't know.
How troubling is it? Because this is not the only school district I've heard about today that's had this issue. And yesterday at the Khan Academy, a kid is accused of bringing a gun in and with a hoodie over it. But to have that in the wake of everything that happened in Florida, when in fact there were 14 and 15-year-olds killed in that, how much salt in the wound does that rub into, a national tragedy?
Well, what I want to do, the question you asked earlier, their demeanor, how did they feel about it? Were they remorseful? I want to get with the investigators and do a little follow-up with them to say, how did the child feel when you were talking to him? Did he put the blame on someone else? Did he say, I was just kidding? I mean, come on, this isn't me. You know me. Go ask my buddy here. We eat peanut butter and jelly at noon hour. I don't even own a gun. We can't look at it like that. So I'm just kind of curious on the demeanor of the youngsters as well. But again, 14 and 15 years old, you know the difference between right and wrong.
And so I know you're just beginning the investigation, but do you know at this point if there are any guns in the household? And when a kid picks up a link to how to make a bomb, that must make the antenna go up as well.
Again, this just happened today, so we're continuing to look to see if do they actually have the ability to follow through on the threat. We're looking at all that.
But that's separate and aside from the threat itself.
The threat itself, that's right. The threat itself is a criminal offense. Did they have the ability to carry out a threat? Well, that's what we're going to find out as well.
Do you expect any more of this to happen?
I'm hoping everybody is watching today that lives, obviously, in Fort Bend County, the Greater Houston area, just saying, hey, spend that time. Sit down with your child 5 minutes over the weekend and have that casual conversation. Thank you.